second speaker of this afternoon is the local member of the Preparatory Commission, Father Francis Armada Riyanto, here from Indonesia. Father Armado was born in 1965. He was ordained a priest in 1993, and then he was sent to Rome to have a doctorate there at the Gregorian University, which he did in 1999. He has written many different books. Two of them interestingly are on interreligious dialogue, and they are somehow first books in that field in the Indonesian language. At the same time, Father Armado, I do not want to talk too much about him because you want to listen to him. Father Armada is also chairman of the Asian Pacific Commission on Vincentian Charism and Culture, and we are happy to be able to listen to him now.
My presentation, I hope it will be shorter simply because we need also to have prayer. Well, I put up as papers two kinds of papers. The first one is Duc in altum. That means this is a Latin expression of put out into the deep. And the second one is only for personal reading, dialogue with Islam. I don't want to say anything about personal reading, so you may read it if you have time. But I would like to say something about Duc in altum, Vincentian journey of dialogue from Fatqa 99 to Pacet 2011. My dear brothers and sisters, I was one of the fortunate people who could enjoy the beauty of Fatqa at the time, and I think some of us are still here. Jesus' words to put out into the deep water encourage each one of us to make more efforts to journey in path of interreligious dialogue, of which the late Pope John Paul II, who is now the Blessed, called a path of a must. In this short introduction, allow me to put up 2 points only. What did we learn and discover from Fatqa 99, and what do we expect, what do we hope in Pacet 2011? Fatqa, it was Fatqa, Lebanon, chosen to host the first gathering of Vincentians dealing with Islam. And the participants were 49. Now the participants are 64 or 65, something like that. Yeah. And they came from Austria, Barcelona, Eritrea, Indonesia, Salamanca, and so on. But we missed from United States. Now we have a couple of them in this form, United States, and also India. Lebanon and Indonesia have been experiencing a lot of suffering, as also other countries, caused by religious conflicts and tensions. Though it has been strongly said that conflicts among people was not because of religion, but rather politics or social issues, we cannot deny the fact that religions, or at least religious people, have often been falling themselves into misunderstanding, prejudices, miscommunications, tensions, and the most bitter of all, conflicts that turn to bloodshed. What we learn in Fatqa Well, from Fatqa, I did learn and discover that religious conflicts has always been common suffering that can be resolved for sure with working hard and enforcing of togetherness. I think Lebanese people are one of the exemplary examples, the exemplary people who can resolve their tension and conflicts. What we learn in Fatqa, we did learn a lot of beautiful things. Father Jean Landoucy, a member of the preparatory commission at that time, wrote conclusions indicating at first experiencing the joy of being together as one family of Saint Vincent de Paul and Saint Louis de Marillac. The international character of the meeting in Fatqa reminded us of the international nature of our Vincentian little company and society, which unceasingly must partake church mission without frontiers of race and religion. So indeed, at the same time, we are also open to strengthen our collaboration with Muslim brothers and sisters. Fatqa filled the Vincentians up with profound reflection of interreligious dialogue. And yet there remain crucial questions that needs to be put into the deep water now in Pacet. And the question is, at the end of the session, we ask ourselves how we concretely realize our Vincentian vocation in the world of Islam. We've got to be realistic and admit that there are still many questions for which we have no answer. And Father Landoucy puts 3 areas of our vocations dealt with in Fatqa, such as area of pastoral sphere, area of social activity, area of formation. You can read by yourself more or less those explanation of the areas in Vincentiana or in HTTP www.findialogue.org. You can click on that website and then you will find the conclusions made by Father Jean Landoucy. I would prefer to go to the challenges after Fatqa. Journey of Interreligious Dialogue after Fatqa was not an easy one. We have witnessed there have been so many challenges that the Vincentian family had to cope with. In different countries, political dynamism or even upheavals have been so bold and clear. After Fatqa, Islam experienced somehow a new phase, of which I do regard more as a bias. Not to mention an example of the tragedy of 9/11. Islam was easily stereotyped as a religion close to terrorism. In Indonesia, a powerful bomb blasted in Bali was the very beginning of a such stereotype understanding of Islam. India did experience the same thing in Mumbai terror. The Philippines seems to be restlessly in trouble in connection with Mindanao's instability. And we have heard everything with regard of this bitter experience from the bishop this morning. We have recently witnessing unstoppable, I'm putting here in quotation mark, revolution to democracy in the Muslim world, which causes also tensions and sufferings. This phenomenon has nothing to do with religious issues, at least that we listen to the news from television, rather political ones. It is related to new understanding of social and democratic revolution triggered by technology. However, believe or not, most of democratic people wonder and get surprised with such kind of revolutionary movements. So I move now what we expect in Pacet. My dear brothers and sisters, the objective of this meeting is actually that we may foster that we may strengthen, enhance our interreligious dialogue with Muslims that has been done and cultivated in different countries in our globe. In Pacet, we are not discussing religious persecution, if you want, conflicts as such. We should dare to go beyond all of discontent situation. We need to transcend whatever kind of tensions and conflicts. Our presence in Pacet is definitely for reflecting interreligious dialogue in more profound way, based on beautiful living in and coexistence, and inspired by our Vincentian charism and spirituality. That's what we have witnessed in everywhere. What I mean by going beyond conflicts means that we need to turn to be Christian as a person with deep faith. God gave us faith to go beyond our limitedness, as I think well described by Claudio in his presentation. Let me put up two things as, let's say, my hope in Pacet. The first point is regarding methodology of reflection. And the second, well, I would be, let's say, I would like to also share my dreams, what I call dreams of Pacet. Let's go to the first one, regarding methodology of reflection. I would say that we need to go from seeing, now knowing, understanding Islam as a unique and different religion with a set of beliefs, to sharing and building up communities of dialogue. The most challenging task is not in how we learn normative doctrines of Islam, but in how we realize our understanding into formation of communities and collaboration and dialogue. This is the most challenging task, I think. That's what we learned from Bishop, you know? When we made a visit, when he paid visit to Muslim leaders, then something changed, at least in relationship. So we need to go to pay visit. The second one is exploring formation of dialogue for Vincentian family by strengthening programs available for ongoing formation.